Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark with the Mad Movie Mark Movie Review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 2017 comedy, Mr. Roosevelt.
It's stupid. It's pretty dumb.
Well, if you're commenting on the quality of this movie, you are absolutely correct. Now, Mr. Roosevelt has a 100% fresh rating from the critics and Rotten Tomatoes and a 58% fresh rating from the audience. I'm currently reviewing every movie that has a 100% fresh rating from the critics in chronological order. Now, you would be asking yourself, why did only 58% of the audience enjoy this movie? And that will be the wrong question to ask. The correct question is, how on earth did 100% of the critics like this movie? Because I think 58% is a bit high. So this movie stars Noelle Wells as Emily, Britt Lauer as Celeste, and Nick Thune as Eric. And the main story revolves around Emily. So Emily is a self-loathing comedian she's an aspiring comedian who works as an editor for a company, and it seems like she edits their commercials that they do, although they don't go into a lot of detail about what she actually edits, but she is apparently an editor. Now, she is estranged from her boyfriend, Eric. Apparently, they both lived together in Texas at one time, and she left to move to Los Angeles, where they were supposed to have like a long distance relationship, and she kind of just ended it because she couldn't do long distance. So she gets a call one day while she's having a random hookup with someone she just met, and she is told that her beloved cat, Mr. Roosevelt, is gravely ill and is at the animal hospital. So she hightails it to Texas, where she meets Eric, where it seems like she's going to try to rekindle the relationship, that this tragic event is going to kind of bring them back together, but those dreams are crushed when she meets Eric's apparently perfect girlfriend, Celeste. Now, the first problem I have with this movie is just because my wife's a veterinarian and I've worked in the vet field. Now, they are sitting in the waiting room and the doctor comes in and says, well, your cat, Mr. Roosevelt, he was doing really well, and then he kind of crashed, and then he was doing well again, and now he's dead. Is basically what they tell these owners, which would never happen, because if the cat crashes, you have to have permission to do treatments on it to get it back from where it was. So I don't know, that bothered me at first, but that's just a minor nitpick thing. So Mr. Roosevelt passes away, and they're opting, I'm assuming they agreed to have Mr. Roosevelt privately cremated and the ashes returned, because the receptionist asks what urn they want, and they are receiving the ashes back. So at first, Emily decides what urn she wants. She wants the second least expensive because she is poor and she doesn't have a lot of money for this. And then Celeste and Eric invite her to their house to stay for a couple days while they wait for the ashes to come back. So she agrees to this, and she kind of meets their friends. She meets a friend of her, or she meets a friend of hers, or a friend that she just made while in Texas, and she has like a good time with them. But when she's with Celeste and Eric, she pretty much hates her life, and she hates Celeste because Celeste is the new girlfriend of Eric. Now, Celeste seems like a really good person. Emily seems to think that she is being nice, but underneath that nice surface, she's actually like being rude and being terrible to her. I don't know if that's just because that's Emily's personality and she's self-loathing and she doesn't think much of herself, so she believes that Celeste is being that way towards her. I never got that feeling. I thought that Celeste was actually being kind of kind to Emily, and she was like actually doing a lot more than what a new girlfriend would do for the ex of her boyfriend. And that's kind of the problem I have here, is that I think we're supposed to, I think that we're supposed to feel for Emily, and we're supposed to believe that she's like, she's being wronged in some way, but that's not how I feel at all. I feel like Celeste and Eric are being wronged in this movie, especially since we learn that Emily broke up with Eric, and she's the one who brought all this on, essentially. But anyway, they open their house to her. She has a lot of moments where she just completely goes crazy on Celeste and yells at her and gets mad at her for things that she believes Celeste is doing. And then towards the end of the movie, there's always spoilers in these reviews, so this is going to be a spoiler here. The end of the movie, when she finally learns that her ashes of Mr. Roosevelt are ready, she had thrown her phone in the pool because she had this very revealing moment where she kind of let her inhibitions go while she was with her friends, and she decided to let her hair down and have a good time and stop being this mopey person that she is, and she threw her phone in the water, and then later on it's recovered by someone and given back to her. But while her phone was in the water, that's the exact time that they're trying to call her to let her know that Mr. Roosevelt's ashes are ready. And since she didn't pick up the phone, they called Celeste because Celeste was the next number as far as contacts goes. So when she learns that Celeste picked up the ashes, she goes back to the house and she's very upset because she thinks that Celeste is trying to steal her cat from her. And Celeste explains this, your phone wasn't on you. And Emily says, well, there's this big expensive urn now, why didn't you go with the urn I had? And Celeste is well, Mr. Roosevelt was a big part of my life too. I was with him every day, and I wanted him to have a good urn, so I bought a new urn. And of course, this just sets Emily off. She gets very upset, and Celeste says, we're going to have a get-together tomorrow with all of our friends to kind of celebrate the life of Mr. Roosevelt. You're obviously welcome to come if you want. We would like you to be there. And this also sets Emily off because she thinks that this is a big charade to make her feel like a terrible person, because she thinks that everything is a big charade to make her feel like a terrible person. So she ends up sleeping with another random guy, and she's late to this party, and she has to wear this weird dress because her clothes got ruined while she was having this one night stand. And everyone is very nice. They kind of go around the room and say what Mr. Roosevelt meant to them, and they give a toast and stuff, and then they ask for her to say something, and she basically says, I know what you guys are doing here. You're trying to make me feel like a bad person. And Celeste says, no, I think the reason why why you have all this animosity and this built-up frustration toward me is because you feel bad that you left Mr. Roosevelt. And of course, this also makes her upset. Now, a little bit earlier in the movie, when Celeste was at work, Emily and Eric kind of hung out. He used to play in a band, and now he's given that up, and he's put his music, his guitars in the shed. He no longer has that life. So Emily, they go out, and he plays his guitar. They eat ice cream. They do all this stuff that he hasn't done in a long time. And she says, isn't this the life you want? This is what you used to have. And he says, no, all I want is a family. I realize I really enjoyed playing the guitar tonight. We had a lot of fun, but I'm an adult now. I want a different life than what I had with you. And Emily, for some reason, doesn't understand that. I understand that perfectly. He's a grown adult now. He's out of that phase. She has not gotten out of that phase for whatever reason. And now, even though it seems like he's enjoying all this stuff, and it seems like Celeste is holding him back, she's actually the one thing in his life that he needed, because she is mature, and she is able to be an actual adult and do actually adult things with him, whereas Emily is immature and doesn't want to do any of that stuff. She just wants to live an immature life. So he ends up saying no, this isn't what. And at the end of the movie, Emily has this realization, I guess, where she realizes that she's being a terrible person. She realizes that she's treated them badly. It's just weird. She ends up fighting with this girl that she's friends with, and she knocks the urn over, and all the ashes fall out, and she starts crying. And then she has this epiphany moment where she realizes that she hasn't been a very good person, and she sends a letter, or she writes a letter to Celeste and Eric, as if it's Mr. Roosevelt writing a letter. And that's the end of the movie. This movie just really annoyed me. Emily's character is so annoying. Everything she does in this movie is she's the villain of this movie. I don't know if I'm supposed to feel that way. I really thought I was supposed to be rooting for her, but maybe I just got that part wrong. Maybe the whole movie she was supposed to be the villain. She's supposed to be the bad person. But then when she has these moments, like when she's with her friends and she kind of lets all her inhibitions go away and she starts to have fun, where like those are seems like moments where you're supposed to like really be like you're rooting for the entire movie, and this is like the payoff. This is where you can finally say yes, like she's finally doing what I wanted her to do throughout the entire movie. She's finally letting her hair down. She's finally being a person, like being an actual real person and having fun. But it's hard for me to do that when like she's just so wrong about everything in this movie. And she maybe it's because like I didn't grow up with this mentality growing up, but her way of thinking is just so annoying to me and so weird to me that I just couldn't enjoy it. Like she made this movie so bad. Her character was so terrible. It was so poorly written. There's the payoff for me at the end of the movie is so stupid because it's like 98% of the movie she's like this, and then at the end, because they need her to have some redemption, they give her this redemption at the end, which really didn't make any sense to me. It was actually pretty bad. Celeste and Eric, I really like their characters a lot. Like I thought that they were a great couple, even though like he doesn't have the hobbies before that he had that he enjoyed. He's doing other things now that he enjoys. He has like a stable relationship. He has a stable house. He has everything that like a grown-up adult should have, and I really like was rooting for them, and I was hoping that they would like get rid of Emily and be like, go away, go somewhere else. So that dynamic I really liked about the movie, but everything Emily was doing, every scene she was in, which is most of the movie because she's the main character, was just so ridiculous. None of it was funny to me. I'm not even sure I laughed once in this movie, to be perfectly honest, and it's like meant to be a comedy. But it's just not, it's not funny. It's like awkward. It's very awkward, but like I don't know. There's some movies that are awkward, but you know, you realize, oh, okay, this is supposed to be that way. It's going to end up fine. But that wasn't the case here. It's just awkward for the sake of being awkward, and it's just really bad. And I didn't enjoy this movie really at all. The score I'm gonna give it is purely because of the Eric and Celeste character, because I really like them a lot, and it's it's gonna be a 5 out of 10. Sorry about that. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. Um, just a really poorly made movie, in my opinion. It is just not funny. It's just so it's. I don't know why. I don't know why critics gave like every critic who reviewed this movie gave it a good review. I really don't understand it. It's just really annoying. It's a really annoying movie. It didn't have like some movies have like really terrible things in it. That's why I give it a low score. But this is just a low score because it's not funny and it's not good. So anyway, it's a 5 out of 10. I hope you join me next time when I review a much, much, much better movie called Keep the Change. Thank you. I hope you have a great day.